Okay, so we have moved on to volume of rectangular prism. So everything we know about rectangular prism, length, width, height, still the same thing, but now we're going to be talking about the volume of a rectangular prism. So notice new standard here because now we're talking volume instead of surface area. Still rectangular prisms, right rectangular prisms, same thing. When you get into high school, they'll have other type of rectangular prisms, but for us, they're all right rectangular prisms. So once again, like I said, identify length, width, height of a rectangular prism. I can correctly substitute values into the volume formula. I can solve equations for unknown values. We'll probably do that next time because I don't think we'll have enough time today, but I'm going to leave that there just in case we do have enough time. I'll introduce one of those in class, but I don't think we're going to have enough time for that. And use the correct formula to calculate the volume of a rectangular prism. All right, so the volume of a rectangular prism is the number of cubic units contained in the interior. So if you notice, there is our typical rectangular prism. So this would be our length. Our width is up there, but it could be down here as well, right? That width there. And then this is our height because it tells us vertically how tall it is. So why I was doing that, because if you notice, that's what it is. That's what we're talking about. What we had been talking about before was on the outside. So now if you notice, there's one. Oh, sorry, I lost my pen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cubes on this side. And guess what's on that backside? Exact same number. So then on the backside, you would have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cubic units. Okay. And I know a lot of you have been talking to me about what happened to length times width times height. It's volume. So if we would do that, because we're getting ready to talk about the formula here in a minute, but most of you know that if we do this, we could actually calculate the volume. So if I take, and once again, that's length, that's width, that's height. So if I took 2 times 2 times 4. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16 cubic units. So no more little 2's. It's got to be a little 3 up the top. Okay? So then if here, we just talked about it. So the capital B is where it's area of the base. So once again, let's get our picture of our rectangular prism here. I think I want to make that a little bit more rectangular, not a cube. There we go. That looks a lot better. So length, width, and height. Okay, so capital B is the area of the base. Well, we keep talking about that is our base of our rectangular prism. It is a rectangle. So how do we find the area of that? That'd be length times width and still times height. So that's where that formula comes from. So if we find the area of the base, multiply by the height, it will tell us how many cubic units are inside of it. Okay, not on the outside. So just like what we saw with circumference and area for circles. Circumference was outside the circle, the distance around it. And then area of the circle was the number of square units inside. So now we're talking three-dimensionally. That's why we're talking about cube instead of square. Okay, so here we go, folks. So volume equals capital B times H, and I'm going to keep using that because that's going to be the same formula we need for cylinders. So once again, our base is that rectangle. So how do I find it? That'd be length times width, right? Length, width, I've got it. And then we'll multiply times height. So then I've got 10 times 3 times 4. And you can multiply all those at once, but let's take it step by step so I don't lose anybody. So 10 times 3, 30. Times 4, that would be 120 cubic inches inside of that rectangular prism. Okay? Next one. Find the volume of the rectangular prism. So here you go. You know what the formula is. Capital B times H, or length times width times height. So if you will, pause the video, try it on your own. So there's our length, there's our width, there's our height. So I've got 7 times 5 times 3. So I've got 35, right? 35 times 3 would become 105 cubic centimeters on the inside of that rectangular prism. And once again, pause this one. I'm going to leave it blank here for a while. You try to fill out everything. Okay, so hopefully you tried capital B times H, which means that's our base. So area of the base, which would be length times width times height. That'd be length is 3, width is 2, height is 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 6 is 36 cubic inches. Okay. So next time we will do the unknown values, just kind of like what we did with surface area, but it's a little bit easier now that we're talking about everything being multiplied together. So hopefully you feel, once again, pretty good about length, width, height of a rectangular prism, because we talked about it a couple days now. And then substitute those values into the formula correctly. Next time we'll do unknown values. So once again, working with the volume of a rectangular prism. Good luck, folks. If you need help, come see me.